14 seconds. That is exactly how long you have after the airlock door blows out before your brain shuts down. The movies lie to you. You do not explode like a blood-filled balloon, and your flesh does not instantly freeze into a solid block of red ice. The truth is far more violent, far more methodical, and it happens strictly inside your own veins. If you think the void is just an empty, silent room waiting to gently float you away into the dark, prepare for a brutal awakening. We are going down the exact, microscopic timeline of what the universe will do to your flesh, your bones, and your DNA the moment you cross the threshold without a spacesuit. Your first human instinct is to take a massive gulp of air and hold your breath. That is the deadliest mistake you can make in a vacuum. The pressure drops to zero in a fraction of a second. If your lungs are full of air, that trapped gas has to expand. It will push outward with unimaginable force, tearing through the delicate alveolar sacs in your chest like a wet paper bag bursting from the inside. Blood vessels snap. Air bubbles violently force their way into your bloodstream, traveling straight to your heart and flooding your brain. This is a fatal arterial gas embolism. You are drowning in your own escaping oxygen. But let us assume you screamed. You exhaled all your air as you were violently sucked out. You are now floating in the absolute silence, fully conscious, staring at the stars. In 1965, at NASA's Johnson Space Center, a technician named Jim LeBlanc was testing a spacesuit in a massive vacuum chamber. The pressurization hose suddenly disconnected. He fell backward. The last thing he remembered before blacking out was the sensation of the saliva boiling on his tongue. This is a terrifying physical reality called embolism. The boiling point of any liquid is tied to atmospheric pressure. In the absolute zero pressure of space, your normal body heat is more than enough to make the fluids in your eyes, your throat, and your soft tissues vaporize instantly. You are literally boiling yourself alive from the inside out. Your tears turn to steam. The moisture in your lungs evaporates. The nitrogen dissolved in your blood turns into gas bubbles, expanding your muscles and skin to twice their normal size. You become a swollen, agonizingly tight biological balloon. But you will not feel the swelling for long. By second 14, the deoxygenated blood from your damaged lungs reaches your brain. The lights go out. You are completely unconscious. Yet, the horror continues. You are not dead. For about 2 to 3 minutes, your heart is stubbornly still beating. It is desperately trying to push boiling, frothy blood through your collapsing veins. Now, the extreme, unfiltered temperatures of the solar system take over to finish the job. Space itself does not have a temperature because it is a vacuum, but the objects in it absorb heat. If you are floating in direct sunlight near Earth orbit, you are getting blasted by raw, unshielded solar radiation. The temperature on the sun-facing side of your body hits 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hot enough to melt heavy plastics. It is more than enough to scorch your exposed skin, cooking the tissue into a blackened, blistered crisp. But look at the other side of your body. The side facing the endless dark. If the Earth blocks the sun, or if you are simply in your own shadow, the temperature plummets to minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You are baking on one side and freezing on the other. But you do not freeze instantly. Because there is no air to conduct the heat away from your skin, you lose warmth very slowly. You radiate your internal heat into the void, photon by photon. It takes hours for the deep core of your organs to turn into a solid, impenetrable block of ice. Now your body is a silent, drifting monument of frozen tissue. But the destruction is not over. It is merely shifting from the macroscopic to the microscopic. Without the thick, comforting blanket of the Earth's magnetic field to protect you, you are standing in front of a relentless cosmic firing squad. In 1912, the physicist Victor Hess discovered these high-energy particles raining down from deep space. We call them cosmic rays. Out here, they are not just abstract physics. They are microscopic bullets traveling at nearly the speed of light. They tear right through your frozen cells. They shatter your DNA strands, breaking down the complex biological codes that used to make you a human being. While the radiation bombards you from the outside, a different war is raging deep inside your gut. The trillions of anaerobic bacteria that help you digest your food do not care that you are in space. They do not need oxygen to survive. They are still alive, and they are hungry. Before the freezing cold can completely penetrate your abdominal cavity, these bacteria start eating you from the inside out. They consume your dead organs and produce massive amounts of gas. Since the gas cannot escape your frozen skin, it turns your corpse into a pressurized biological time bomb, expanding the internal cavities until the frozen tissue finally gives way. Decades pass. You are no longer a person. You are a biological derelict drifting in the dark. If you were left in low Earth orbit, the microscopic drag of the planet's exosphere will slowly, inevitably pull you down. The Hubble Space Telescope has to periodically boost its orbit to avoid this exact fate. You have no thrusters. Gravity always wins. Eventually, you will hit the dense upper atmosphere at 17,000 miles per hour. The violent friction will ignite your frozen, desiccated remains, turning you into a brief, macabre shooting star burning across the night sky. But what if you were pushed out further, past the moon, into deep space? Your journey is just beginning. You are traveling through the same dark, freezing ocean as the Voyager probes launched in 1977. But unlike those golden records, you have no aluminum or titanium shield. The vast space between planets is not empty. It is filled with micrometeorites. These are microscopic grains of sand, rock, and comet dust traveling at 50 miles per second. They are faster than any bullet ever fired. Every single impact chips away a microscopic piece of your frozen flesh. Over hundreds of thousands of years, you are not just floating. You are being methodically sanded down into fine biological dust. Let us say a single, dense fragment of your thigh bone survives the barrage of micrometeorites. It drifts out of the solar system, pushed along by the relentless solar winds. You are now crossing the interstellar void. The James Webb Space Telescope looks out at massive, glowing clouds of nebula dust where new stars are born. You are slowly becoming part of that cold dust. In 4 light years, you might brush past the Alpha Centauri star system. In 100 million years, the crushing gravity of a massive, rogue gas giant might catch your remaining dust and rip your atoms apart forever. Every carbon atom in your cells, every iron atom in your dried blood, was forged in the nuclear furnace of a dying star billions of years ago. Now, the universe is violently reclaiming its borrowed material. This is the ultimate, inescapable horror of the cosmos. The enemy is not the boiling saliva on your tongue or the freezing shade of the void. It is not the solar radiation or the microscopic bullets of comet dust. The true, hidden antagonist is entropy. Entropy is the relentless, blind machine of the universe that insists on breaking every ordered thing down into absolute chaos. Entropy does not hate you. It does not feel pity for your frozen lungs. It does not even notice you exist. It simply demands that everything complex must decay. Long after the last red dwarf star burns out, long after the gravitational waves recorded by the LIGO observatories fade into total, deafening silence, the scattered atoms of your body will drift in an absolute, pitch-black zero. There is no grand rescue mission coming for you. There is no monument to mark where you floated. There is only the endless, hungry dark, waiting patiently to dismantle you piece by piece, atom by atom. 14 seconds. That is all it takes to cross the permanent line from a living, breathing human mind to a scattering, meaningless stain on the fabric of time.